Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy Neo XO coming back at y'all with Black Clover spoilers and information. If that's what you want to see in this video, make sure to stay tuned and we're gonna get right into it. So the chapter starts off with Yuno aiming his arrow directly at Zenon, and he goes ahead and he fires off this arrow. Now the arrow hits Zenon right about here and it goes directly through him. It's a decent sized hole and it's pretty much like a clean hole. So everything right here pretty much is gone because he just blew straight through his bone defense. And we know Zenon has some good defense when it comes to his bone magic. And Zenon's kind of in shock for a second. We can see some focus on his facial expressions. He's very shocked and he has blood coming from his mouth. So that's not a good sign. If you got blood coming from your mouth, you need some help. Now, we see him basically looking in shock, and then Yuno basically hit him so hard that he went into a flashback. All right. So flashback, we get Kid Zenon. We finally get Zenon's backstory now. Mind you, this is not the official translations. I'm gonna be back, later this week with official translations for this chapter. Make sure y'all stop by again. But shout out to everybody in the community who knows Japanese or whatever and can translate and give us, a rough translation so we at least know a little bit of what's going on. Now, speaking on this, remember this is a rough translation. Now, so we see Vonica, Dante, and Zenon when they're younger, and they're kind of talking to Zenon. They're like, "What's up with you? You're hurt again?" So that signifies that this happens often at this time. And then we see Vonica, telling them like, "You're no good," and then Dante's talking down on him. He's like, "Oh gosh, and you're my brother? How bad is that?" And it's just they're not really showing like remorse that their brother just got beat up. Because I guess they feel so superior, and like it kind of reminds me of how Noelle's siblings used to treat her. I guess siblings in Black Clover just don't treat their siblings well. But moving on past that, they did have an older sibling, it appears. So their older sibling tells Zenon pretty much not to worry, that Zenon is more like him than any of the other siblings. So we see him in a wheelchair. Now that tells me that we might get a backstory on this elder brother of the Zogratis siblings. We might get a backstory on him because like he's in a wheelchair. I'm pretty sure he wasn't born in a wheelchair, so I think that's like signaling a backstory. And the reason that the older brother was saying that Zenon was more like him is because apparently Zenon has more talent for devil possession than Dante and Vonica. So that's just something that needs to be pointed out right off the bat. Now, moving on past this, we get some panels of Zenon getting bullied. So we actually see him, I don't even know if this is the official order, but I'm just going in the order that I, assume that this is going to take place. So Zenon basically is getting bullied. We see him getting punched in the face. We see him getting jumped. It seems like they're not really rocking with Zenon in the beginning, except for one dude. Now, this one dude comes in and he saves Zenon from pretty much getting bullied. Now, what that remind y'all of? To me, that remind me of Yuno and Asta. And they even got like one of them has light hair and one of them has dark hair. So that right there in and of itself, might, signal like Yuno and Asta vibes. Asta got the light hair, Yuno got the dark hair, Zenon got the dark hair. This guy has light hair and he saved him, So it kind of reminds me, especially since it's snowing, whenever Asta went and saved Yuno from that dude trying to steal his chain, Alan pretty much saves Zenon and starts encouraging him. And they had apparently a lot of stuff going on in the Spade Kingdom because they had like a civil war and it was getting invaded by the Diamond Kingdom. So they just got a lot going on in the Spade Kingdom at that time. And it seemed like that's whenever Zenon, you know, started training and wanting to go to the Magic Knights of the Spade Kingdom, allegedly. You know, I say allegedly because this is just, you know, like rough translations. But so after he got into the magic defense of the Spade Kingdom, he went on some missions and stuff. You know, that's typical mission stuff. It seemed like him and Alan were actually rivals. It actually seemed like kind of, you know, similar to Asta and Yuno. So maybe Zenon's like a anti-Yuno, which makes sense because like they're fighting against each other. So it kind of, you know, it kind of all works out in fate and stuff like that. And I say they're rivals too. Something else, they both want to be like the main captain of the Spade Kingdom. Now this translation might be different in the official, like I keep saying, but you know, I assume that's gonna be like the Wizard King of the Spade. So they're basically like, all right, kind of similar to Asta and Yuno in that sense too, that they want to be like the main captain, and then, you know, Alan want to be the main captain, then Zenon want to be the main captain. So they both got that going for them. So what ends up happening, you know, they're going on their journey as magic, you know, warriors, pretty much. We see them now as they're going on their journey as magic warriors. We see Alan training with Zenon. They're training with each other, pretty much getting stronger. They eventually enroll into the magic, you know, the Magic Knight equivalent of the Spade Kingdom, and they're sent on a mission. You know, they're kind of older now, you know, and the mission was to a dungeon, and what they did not know is that they had a sealed devil in the dungeon. So the devil is just wrecking stuff. Like, he just wrecking stuff. We already know how powerful devils can be, especially if you're not like built for that. For certain people, you gotta really be built to fight a devil in this series right here, because the devils just be wrecking. Now the devil just wrecking, and we see Alan pretty much trying to fight off the devil, kind of like protecting Zenon again from whenever, you know, they were kids, like very similar. Now he's fighting off this devil, and it's like it looks like he's not gonna beat this devil at all. Then like Zenon's getting this look on his face. He's kind of like, oh my goodness, we are like we're in some deep hot water right now. So then we see Zenon flash back to reality, and then we see assumably Beelzebub. So it reminds me of like whenever Asta was, you know, losing, and then he saw Libe in that big form kind of, and then Asta was like floating. I like that. To me, that's a callback. I hope this is a callback. This is a callback, and I really like that. So it seemed like we really got Beelzebub in, you know, confirmed for Zenon's devil. I wonder what they're talking about. Let me see if I can find some translations to that. So it said, I did find some translations to that last panel. It says Beelzebub, the path of the anti-hero leads to, and then it's a deal. So it seems like Zenon's gonna make a similar deal to how Asta made with Libe whenever Asta lost his arm. You know, they made that deal at the split second. You know, it seems like Zenon about to make that same deal, or a very similar deal to that. Like, interesting chapter. I'm gonna have to you know, check out the official translations of this chapter, and I'm gonna have to talk about that too. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's been your boy NeoXO, and I'm out.